can you claim life insurance in your property business? Hi, I'm Kimberly Shapcott, qualified chartered accountant, property investor and entrepreneur. Let's sit down and have a chat. Is life insurance allowable for tax purposes? Now, we need to look at this for different perspectives because the answer to the question is very much it depends. And the first it depends we need to cover is it depends whether you own your properties in your own name or whether you own your properties in a company. So let's start with the if you own properties in your own name. And the simple answer for this is no. If you have life insurance, even if it is covering certain things to do with your mortgages that you have as buy-to-lets or HMOs or whatever investment strategy you're going, the life insurance policy that you're paying out each month is not going to be an allowable expense against your rental income. Now, that's a very straightforward one. However, now we need to move into a company format and look at if you own the properties in a company, is a life insurance allowable for tax purposes? Can you claim it through your company? And again, the answer comes back to an age-old accountant's answer to it depends. And the reason it comes down to it depends on the policy you are getting. There are some very specific policies that are allowable for tax purposes. So if you are getting one of those types of policies, then yes, 100% it is going to be allowable for tax purposes. However, if you don't get one of those policies, then the answer is going to be a no, it is not going to be allowable for tax purposes. And the question will be whether there's any benefits in kind, and there's any tax implications, and it may be a disallowable for tax, which means you're not going to get any corporation tax relief on it. So what are these policies that we need to be looking at? Well, one thing I will say is if you speak to your insurance broker, they will probably be able to guide you through the process. However, so that you have an idea of what you're asking for, let's have a quick look at what you can and also what the requirements are so that you know exactly what type of policy you need to be speaking to them about. Now, the policy that you need to be speaking to them about is either a key man policy. Now, I'm not an insurance broker, so I can't tell you the ins and the outs of a key man policy or a relevant life insurance policy. But generally, the ethos is that these are covering key people in the business. So if there is any impact on those, for example, they pass away or they're seriously injured, so cannot work for a period of time, that there is a policy in place to make a payment to give cash to help with any losses or any costs that may be incurred in making sure the business can continue moving forwards. So on that basis, with that in mind, there is a few requirements under the legislation of what those sorts of policies have to be about to enable them to be allowable. So let's briefly cover those off, and then hopefully that gives you all the information you need to go and speak to your insurance broker to ensure that you are getting the right policy to enable you to put these sorts of policies through your limited company. So an employer may take out a policy to cover a key person for the purpose of insuring against any losses or profits restricted, insuring against any loss of profits, critical illness, sickness, accident or injury to an employee, director or other key person. So it does cover quite a range of different people depending who you want to cover in your business. The premiums will be an allowable expense if certain conditions are fulfilled. So there's only two of these. So the first one being the sole purpose of taking out the policy is to insure against the loss of profits or in terms of any loss because of the result of that person not being in the business. And this is all related to trading losses rather than any capital investments or that side of things. In the case of any life insurance policies, they are there to cover specific risks for specified time. So if you are getting something in place, for example, for a loan, a mortgage, then it's for the period of the mortgage. It is not for the indefinite period. It is just to cover a specific point in time during which the risk has been identified in the business. The guidance specifically says that the insurance should not cover any period or be extended to any period after the usefulness of the employee. So on that basis, it's going to be for the period of the loan or the period of that person being employed by the business or within the business. There are restrictions on when it relates to capital expenditure. So you just need to be cautious of this side of things to make sure you're covering the trading side of things and not the capital investment side of your business. So the key thing here is probably to have that conversation with your insurance broker, check what is going to be allowable from their point of view, and as necessary, check with your accountant to make sure that those premiums are going to be allowable within the business so that you're getting the benefit of the cover as well as the benefit of the tax relief. So in summary, we found that if you are an individual with properties in your own name, that there are not going to be any allowable expenses for life insurance. However, in a company, there is definitely some available, and it's just a matter of identifying whether they're going to be the right ones for you. So within a company, there may be some options available, such as Keyman or relevant life insurance, which you can speak to your broker about to find how much it's going to cost you and whether it's going to cover the right things for you and your business. Hopefully today you've discovered what type of life insurance you can be claiming where in your property business. If you have any questions, then please do leave a comment. Please like the video and do subscribe to the channel. And let's make tax less taxing. Let's make tax less taxing.